Hi vinyl community, John here, back again with my next cruise through my heavy metal records, heavy metal and hard rock records. We are at H now, although it's going to backtrack a little bit. Here's an album by a Canadian band called Fist. I forgot to show, I think in the last video. This is an album I have had for a long time. Bought it in Sweden. I think I paid around about 10 krona for it at a time when no one was really collecting records. Not bad. Okay, that's what we're listening to. I've got a whole stack here of ones to go through. So I'm going to cover H and I as well as I can. I've included this one in the stack, Hanoi Rocks. Yeah, I mean, the hard rock of the sort, I suppose. Perhaps one of the earliest sort of glam metal bands, perhaps. This is back to Mystery City. I don't know much about Hanoi Rocks. They're supposed to be very important in Finland, I understand. There's the label on a dusty record. I think it's the only record of theirs I actually have. Yeah, don't know much about them really. There you go. Helix, Canadian band. Walking the Razor's Edge. Melodic sort of metal, I suppose you'd say, from the early 80s. This is interesting. So this is an Australian band called Heaven, and the album is called Twilight of Mischief. Yeah, Twilight of Mischief. What's interesting about this one, what was that called? Deluxe label. I bought this, can't remember exactly what the date was, but I'll put that here when I bought it. I bought this at a kind of, what you call in the States, a yard sale. Now, I got it in Sweden. It's not common that people have yard sales there. But I happened to be visiting a friend in a suburb. We were going out, I think walking her dog or something like that. And yeah, strangely, and this doesn't happen in Sweden very often, or at all from my experience, there was a table out on the lawn with a bunch of bric-a-brac and stuff for sale. And a couple of records. So I picked this one up. I've still got the bit of tape there, it tells me how much I paid for it. 5 krona. So I paid 5 krona for that, which is, I don't know, roughly about 50p I suppose. And on the same table I picked up this one. So this is Heavy Load, Death or Glory. There's a sticker there showing me how much I paid for it, 5 krona. What's interesting with these is they're one of Sweden's first heavy metal bands. Wonderful cover. Metal Theologian has kind of spoken about these. I think, yeah, something about this guy's big moustache or something like that. Got a sticker here, hype sticker, saying free single and colour poster. Sadly, I don't have the free single or colour poster to go along with it. That would have been fun, but yeah, fun little gem to pick up. Of course, I didn't know it was a gem at the time, but looking back now, I'm glad I picked it up when I did. Back in the day when it was only me, apparently, that was collecting records. Okay, now I'm going to show you some Halloween records. Dean Everest asked if I have any Halloween records. I got 3 albums by them, although Pumpkin Tracks, I understand, is a kind of a compilation. I think it is anyway, I don't know much about them. I always think this record and the songs on this record, I used to have it on cassette, I think, can remember listening to it on the train in Stockholm. They sound a bit like Iron Maiden on speed, sort of thing. I don't know if anyone else has kind of thought about that, but that's what they sound like to me. I have this record by them, Pink Bubbles Go Ape. The record's in pretty good shape, but unfortunately the cover there is a bit messed up on the front. It's a gatefold. A really sturdy card inner sleeve. Got an interesting label there with pumpkin on. And the last one of theirs that I have on vinyl is this one, which is a live album. My children pull this out now and again. I think because it's got some sort of like a cartoon kind of cover, they think it's going to be something that's of interest to them. And they're always quite disappointed when it's sort of a live heavy metal concert. Okay, cruising into I now. I can't even say the name of this band. It's a difficult one, a bit of a tongue twister. Impellitteri. I picked this up quite late, around about when I was sort of, my interest in metal was sort of waning a little bit, and I was getting further into prog and stuff. So I never really have paid this much attention. In fact, I was probably quite dismissive of it at the time. But going through my metal stuff now, it's kind of interesting to listen back over some of these things and also rediscover a lot of the things that I've sort of had bypassed. Impellitteri. That's a difficult one. Apparently it's this guy's name, this guy guitarist here, Chris Impellitteri. And it's got Graham Bonnet on the vocals. This is their first album, and it's actually really good. I mean, anything with Graham Bonnet I think is worth listening. I just read it's on Music for Nations, and I just read on Wikipedia that this guy here apparently is ranked as being, or was ranked as being, the #2 fastest guitar player with Ingram Malmsteen in 3rd place. It didn't say who was in 1st place, but what's really cool about this, the style of it and the quality of it, and because there's also, you've got a little bit of a sort of a rainbow reference there, I think, with Graham Bonnet. This album would sit really nicely back to back on a C90 with Ingram Malmsteen's Odyssey. It's that same kind of feel to the music, same kind of quality to the record, similar production. You know, I think back to back those two albums would go really well. So I recommend this to anyone that's an Ingram Malmsteen fan. Not that this guy plays like Ingram Malmsteen, he's got his own style, but it's that same kind of feel that you get from this album of Odyssey. Okay, and the last record I'm going to show today is Iron Maiden. Now, I have only 2 Iron Maiden records. This is one. This is Made in Japan, special live EP. I bought this 25 krona, 2001, at a Salvation Army charity shop in Sweden called Myrorna. And yeah, so it's 25 krona, so I don't know, £2 or £3, something like that. Funnily enough, I never really played it. I played it yesterday just to check it out, and it's good. I don't know much about it. The only other Iron Maiden album I have, which I can't find anywhere, I think it must be in my parents' loft, is the first album they had that came out with Janet Gears. I remember now. And everything else by them I have on CD and cassette. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Oh, one other thing I was going to show. just a little bit of memorabilia. Talking about Iron Maiden, when Blaze Bayley was sort of kicked out of Iron Maiden so Bruce could come back, I went to see him perform with his new band Blaze at in the Army Navy pub in Chelmsford. Really cool it was, and I got this. I had the band sign. I even got a plectrum there. That's pretty cool. Felt a bit sorry for him though. It must have been a bit of a downer to be, you know, out on his own after being in Iron Maiden. I really like this album that he did when he was touring. I like Wolfsbane a lot as well. Okay, that's all from me. Thanks for watching. Watch out for my next video. Bye.